Hello, I'm Creativity and Education Specialist, Cyndi Burnett.
And I am children's book author and illustrator and songwriter, Barney Saltzberg.
Barney, I have a fun activity for us today, and this activity is centered around the skill produce and consider many alternatives. It is a divergent thinking activity, so we're going to be generating lots of ideas. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so for those of you at home, you will need a pen and a piece of paper, and Barney is going to share his screen with us.
Okay.
Great. So Barney, the first thing I need you to do is in the next minute, I need you to write your ABCs. So you're going to write the letter A about 1 inch tall, and it could be any version of the letter A, a cursive version, a print version, a uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter. But you want to write your ABCs about 1 inch tall and a little bit apart from one another. Are you ready? I'm going to give you 1 minute.
Almost. Okay.
All right, go. And Barney did a great job. We're just going to pause and let everyone else catch up with you in the next 26 seconds. And stop. Great job. So Barney, clearly you know your ABCs, well done. And we're going to now take part in a little activity called ABC Idea Generation. And Barney, for this activity, what I need you to do, number 1, is to defer your judgment and keep open. So do you remember the other activity we did where we looked at an object and we had to turn it into something else?
Of course, yes.
Well, what I want you to do today is to look at each letter and imagine it as something other than a letter and turn it into something else, okay? And you're going to start with the letter A, and you're going to work your way through your ABCs, turning each letter into something other than a letter.
Do I get an hour?
You're going to have 1 minute to begin.
Jeez.
Using the first guideline, don't feel like you have to get them all, and there's no wrong way to do this. So you want to work your way through your ABCs, and it's okay even if you just get a couple letters. But turn each letter into something new, and you're going to have 1 minute. And remember, Barney, keep open and delay your judgment. Are you ready?
Sure.
Go. Excellent job, Barney. Let's see what you've got.
One more time.
Well, I think you're off to a great start, and I'm going to give you more time because this time we're going to do another minute, and I want you to focus on the second guideline for divergent thinking, which is seek wild and unusual ideas. So you might look at that, Jay, and say, oh, it could be a hook, but how might you make that into something a little bit more unusual and crazy? Okay?
I thought I'd already done that, but I will keep going.
All right, I'm going to give you another minute, and I really want you to seek wild and unusual ideas. Are you ready?
Sure.
Begin. All right, Barney, you're done with that round.
That's why my aunt has a sad face.
Aww. Aww, well, there's still more time. Okay. I love what you've done. Have you been able to keep open?
Yes.
And were you looking for wild and unusual ideas?
I think so. I think you can kind of, well, I can see the difference between when I stopped at that I before for the first part of this, when I didn't finish that guy, and I feel like the characters in the last minute were a little more exuberant.
I think so too. For the third guideline, we're going to practice using the guideline seek quantity, because Barney, when you seek quantity, you also breed quality. That's what the research shows. So what I'm going to stretch you to do is to reach Z. No matter what you do, try to reach the letter Z in the next minute. Okay? You're going to seek wild and unusual, seek quantity, and defer your judgment most of all, because remember, there's no wrong way to do this. Go. Barney, let's see what you've got. Wow. I love all of the interesting characters you've drawn.
Thank you.
Was it challenging to come up with more and get to the end?
Yes, that part made it a little more difficult. I think if there were no time constraints on this, I think I could have played more, but I was more intent on just getting done.
Okay. And Barney, do you notice that the wild and unusual ones came earlier or later?
Well, I think they came after you told me to do that.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we use that as a guideline and to be specific about that, because oftentimes when we're generating ideas, people want to stay with something that's safe and easy. When we want to be creative, we really want to get into the wild and unusual. Yeah. So Barney, I've got one more round for you, and we're going to use the same visual. And this time I want you to use the final guideline for divergent thinking, which is to build on your ideas. And building on your ideas can look any way you want. You can elaborate on what you've already done. You can make the characters go together or the pictures go together. You can add in detail to what you've already created. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Remember to keep open, seek quantity, seek wild and unusual, and most importantly this round, build on other ideas. Are you ready?
I have one question.
Sure.
Before you had me go sequentially from A to Z, can I bop around now?
You can absolutely bop around. So you can go from one to another. You can spend all of your time building on one of them if you want.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Remember, there's really no wrong way to do this.
Okay.
Here we go. 1 minute. Final one. Go. So Barney, what did it feel like to have an extra minute to elaborate on your ideas?
I'll sleep better tonight because a lot of these things that were unfinished are now a little more presentable. It also gave me an opportunity to take them a little further than I imagined. I think what's interesting is seeing like the A and the B really had nothing to do with each other before, and now there's a connection between the two of them that had I not had the opportunity to go back and explore, that never would have taken place. I like that.
So thanks so much for joining us on today's CreateTUBEity Challenge, Produce and Consider Many Alternatives, ABC Idea Generation. Now, one of the things I found in a study I was part of, was that in using divergent thinking, the one thing that really helps is practice, and practice using those divergent thinking guidelines. Delay judgment, build on one another's ideas, strive for quantity, and seek wild and unusual. Thanks so much, Barney, for joining us today, and have a great day.
Bye.